So you're looking to buy an acoustic guitar. Could be your first one, could be your 10th one, and you have a choice to make, solid top or laminate top. What is the sonic difference between the two? Well, you're about to find out in just a few moments with these two budget guitars, and I'm going to share with you my feather-ruffling opinion.
Guitar Geeks Unite!
Before I get into the specifics of these guitars, we're going to play a little game. I want to see if you can tell the difference between a solid top and a laminate top. I'm going to do single strums on each of these guitars, and in the comments below, go ahead and give me your best guess. Is the Sunburst one laminate or solid? Is the black one laminate or solid? Go ahead and let me know in the comments below. Both of these guitars are Dirty 30s models from Recording King. The black one is a Series 7 with a laminate top. The Sunburst one is a Series 9 with a solid top. Other than that, the specs on these guitars are identical. They're both single O body size. They both have laminate back and sides. The scale length is the same. The neck is the same. The headstock shape, the tuners, it's all the same with the exception of the material used on the top. And with that does come a price difference. The Series 7, the black one, comes in at $180. The Series 9, the Sunburst one here, comes in at $250. Little extra price for that solid top because, well, it does indeed cost more. Let me go ahead and run through a strumming song so again, you can hear these guitars compared to one another in more of a sing-songy context. Without a doubt, there's a very clear difference between these two guitars. The solid top offers more body, offers more meat to the chords, whereas the laminate is a little bit thinner, a little bit more tinny, especially when strumming full chords. But does this same difference apply to single notes? I'm going to go ahead and play a flat picking example for you so you can hear how single notes sound on the laminate versus the solid top. Before I give you my opinion, I want to know yours. But if you haven't made a decision yet, please don't worry. I'm going to fingerpick each of these guitars so you can hear them in that context as well. As for me, I would pick the solid top instrument, hands down. It offers more body, more depth, and just overall more sonic nuance. But laminate guitars have their purpose. They have a use. If you're a beginner guitar player and you're looking for your first guitar and you don't have a huge budget, laminate guitars are perfect. You can get an acoustic guitar for $180. Plays great and it sounds like an acoustic guitar. Furthermore, if you have a kid learning guitar, if you're looking for a camp guitar, if you're looking for a travel guitar, laminate guitars are great because they can handle a little bit more of a beating than a solid top guitar can. And the last reason, not necessarily a reason, but the last thing I want to bring to your attention is humidity. Laminate guitars still react to humidity, but they react far less drastically than a solid-topped instrument. And this is great proof. If you look at the solid-topped instrument here, it's got 2 top cracks in it because I was gone on tour and I did not humidify this guitar, and the top cracked. I didn't humidify this guitar either, but the top didn't crack. Again, that doesn't mean laminate guitars don't react to humidity. They just don't react as drastically as a solid-topped instrument does. And again, if you haven't made your decision on which one you would pick, that's okay. Let me give you one more playing example. No. We're not just talking solid top versus laminate top guitar today. We've got so much more to discuss on today's episode. I'm going to show you how one tiny little puny chord can open up a world of creativity for you on the acoustic guitar. In fact, you can play an entire song with this one chord shape. Just one tiny puny little chord. I'm also going to share with you some acoustic news you can use. I'm trying out some new picks. I've got new music from one of my favorite artists. I'm going to share a guitar story with you that shows an old dog can learn new tricks. In this case, a 77-year-old dog can do something completely new that he never thought he was going to do before. But as promised, I want to share with you how this one tiny chord can open up a world of creativity for you. As a new guitar player, it can feel like you have this enormous mountain to climb. Everybody's telling you to learn all this different stuff. Learn your scales, learn your theory, learn your chords, learn this song, that song, the other song. It's almost dizzying as to how much you feel like you need to learn. And we get caught in this trap, and I've seen it countless times. I know I'm supposed to learn these chords, and I want to play this song, but I can't change my chords very fluidly. So I can't have fun, I can't play this song until I learn all these chords. Now, in some respects, that's actually pretty true. However, you can play an entire song with one chord shape, and it happens to be one of the easiest chords to make when you're first starting guitar because all the fingers are pretty close to one another, and it's a pretty condensed little shape. I'm referring to the mighty D chord. Now, I have a story about this mighty D chord and why I'm even teaching you this. A couple years ago, actually quite a few years ago now, we used to put on this festival here in Bozeman, the Acoustic Life Festival, and I had a student at this festival. There was quite a few students at this festival, but one in particular, we'll call her Sharon, okay? We'll call her Sharon. I was tasking the students, I'd formed them in groups, and they were about to play a song on stage. That was the weekend project. Pick a song with your group, and then you're going to play it on stage in front of all your fellow Tony's Acoustic Challenge members. And this must have been either the day before or the morning before they were going to play. And Sharon says to me, she said, I can't play all the chords in this song. I don't feel like I can participate. And I said, well, what chords do you know from the song? She said, I know a D chord. And I said, that's the one you're going to play. The D chord. That's the chord you're going to play. You have two options. You can either A, every time that D chord comes around, play the hell out of it, or B, you can take the D chord shape and move it to different locations so you can still play those chords. Not in the way they're written on the chord chart, but you still get the sound. Now let me give you an example. This is exactly the whole heart behind this lesson today. I want you to know that even if you know one single chord shape, you can play a full song. So let's look at that D chord. Let's first learn how to fret this D chord, and I'll give you some tricks to kind of clean it up a little bit. Index finger, 2nd fret of the G, ring finger, 3rd fret of the B, middle finger, 2nd fret of the high E. Strum from the D string down. Now I want you to make sure your frets are in this, or your frets. I want to make sure your fingers are in the sweet spot of the fret. So tuck them real close next to the intended fret, but not on top of. If you're on top of the fret, it's going to be muted. If you're way behind, it's going going to be real buzzy. So be right next to your intended fret. You'll get a nice clean chord. Now you're going to want some arch in your fingers, so make sure you're on your fingertips. And if you're having a hard time with that arch, maybe you're muting that high E string, make sure to bring the palm of your fretting hand a little bit closer to the guitar neck. That'll introduce some arch into your fingers so you can play the chord nice, clean, and clear. Now let's say the song calls for a D chord, a G chord, an A chord, and then back to a D chord. So D, G, A, D. If you don't know the G chord, if you don't know the A chord, or even if you know those chords, but changing to them just causes major hiccups and just panic, don't worry. You can use that D chord shape to play those chords. Start with your D. If you want to change to the G, zip this same shape. Don't even take your fingers off the strings. Zip it up so it spans the 7th and 8th fret. That's going to be a G chord. It's a D shape, but it is a G chord. Your index finger ends up on the 7th fret of the G, your ring finger on the 8th fret of the B, and your middle finger on the 7th fret of the high E. So we have our D. Zip it up to the 7th and 8th. We have a G chord. Now if we take this chord, this same shape, this D chord shape, the orientation of your fingers, and we slide it up 2 more frets so it spans the 9th and the 10th, we have an A chord. So your index finger ends up on the 9th fret of the G, your ring finger at the 10th fret of the B, your middle finger on the 9th fret of the high E. So we have a D, we have a G, we have an A. We have a D, we have a G, we have an A. So right there, I hope a huge light bulb is going off. I hope there's this huge relief that you feel that, yes, I want you to learn those other chord shapes, absolutely. But if you know just one, move it around. See if you can find other sounds. And in this case, we're actually playing other chords with the same exact shape. I never want somebody that's new to guitar to feel like they need to do all this hard work first and then have fun. I want you to have fun right from the bat. You can. I think it's a myth that you cannot have fun when you're first starting guitar. It's actually one of the funnest times because everything's this amazing new discovery. Now, let's say you've been playing for a bit and you're like, yeah, Tone, I get it. That's fine. That's fun. That's neat. There's more you can do with this, okay? You can actually play a blues, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But I want to show you one other trick as well. If you take that D chord that we've been loving so much right now, and you take your pinky and lower it so it's right beneath your ring finger, you get a cool little variation. So why not use that when you go to those other locations? You can use it here in the home position, the D chord, the G chord, the A chord. It's another little fun thing that you can do right off the bat that doesn't take too much, hard work. Not that okay, listen, I need to back up here. I'm not allergic to hard work, but I don't want this feeling of I should be doing this, I have to do all this stuff to get in the way of you having fun. That's the whole point of this lesson. So let me show you this blues thing as well. So we got the regular chords, we're moving them around, life is good. We got this little addition. Now we're going to play a blues. And this is a little bit more difficult, so if you can't do this yet, don't worry. I just want to show you what's possible with this singular chord shape. You're going to take your pinky. You're going to take it and place it on the 4th fret of the G. And then lift up again. And then I want you to do a blues shuffle. It's like da 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 da. Just work on that for right now. This is a basic blues shuffle. Again, your pinky's just going on and off that 4th fret of the G string. So if we can do it there, why wouldn't we be able to do it in those other locations? So zoom it up to the 7th and 8th fret. Exact pattern, but now you have this over a G chord. And you can do it up here too. And you can essentially play an entire blues based on one chord position using just one other finger, your pinky. Now, the pinky needs help always, right? It's a little weakling of a finger, but this will help strengthen it as well. Full blues would sound like this. a simple D chord shape. And I guess what I want you to get out of this is I want you to sometimes look at challenges as a way to find shortcuts. This is not in a cheating way, in a way that allows you to continue to have fun, allows you to continue to play, allows you to continue to discover, but not necessarily work yourself into this corner of, I gotta learn this, and I gotta learn all this stuff before I can have any fun. You can have fun right now with the things that you know, and I think the D chord proves it. If you found yourself enjoying that lesson, I think you'll really dig Tony's Acoustic Challenge. If you want to learn more about it, there's a link in the description. You can see how it all works. Now, I've got some acoustic news for you, some really good stuff, actually, some really fun picks that I've been messing with. But before we get there, I've got a trivia question for you. And this is a very acoustic guitar themed trivia question, as they all normally are. Here's your question for the day. In what year did the show MTV Unplugged premiere? In what year did the show MTV Unplugged premiere? This one surprised me because I thought it was much later than it was. That's the only hint I'm going to give you. Don't Google it, just put your best guess in the comments below. Now let's move on to what I've been listening to this week. And very apropos, is that the right term? I'm going to do these out of order. I put them in a specific order, and then I'm like, screw it. I'm going to show you this one first. I've been listening to, very fittingly, Nirvana's Unplugged in New York album. This album, I think it came out in 92. 91. Fantastic album. One of my absolute favorites. I remember getting this in, I think it was 8th grade, and it still hits me just as hard as it did when it first came out. Next up, Mike Aldridge's album Dobro. This is off the Tacoma record label, which was John Fahey's record label. And the cast of characters on this album, I'm just going to read them to you. Mike Aldridge on Dobro, of course. Ben Eldridge on banjo and guitar, which I believe is Chris Eldridge's dad from the Punch Brothers, formerly of the Punch Brothers, currently of the Punch Brothers, formerly of the infamous String Dusters. David Bromberg's on here playing guitar. Vassar Clements on fiddle. Josh Graves also on dobro. Doyle Lawson on mandolin and guitar. Steve Berg on bass. Bill Emerson on banjo. Charlie Waller on guitar. John Duffy on mandolin and guitar. The list goes on. This is just a star-studded album. What I think is actually an underrated album. I think, to the best of my knowledge, I think it was the Tacoma record label's first foray into the bluegrass world. And, I just found the price tag. What did I pay for this? $4.99. Yes, I'm a deal shopper, folks. I'm a deal shopper. Next up, Russ Barenberg, Behind the Melodies. If you have not heard Russ Barenberg play acoustic guitar, do yourself a favor and please do. The reason I got this album was not for Russ Barenberg, though. It was for Jerry Douglas. He's playing dobro on this album. But as far as acoustic guitar work, absolutely phenomenal album. That one's in rough shape. The sleeve is breaking apart on me. Next up, I got to take this out of the sleeve so you can see it. Paid $10 for this album. $10. This is Catfish Keith's Catfish Blues. A phenomenal album. If you don't know who Catfish Keith is, he's a great old-time blues player, fingerstyle, plays resonator guitar. I actually met him last year at Fretboard Summit. I was walking out of the auditorium, and there he was, just right there, Catfish Keith. And I thought, we talked for quite a bit, actually. And cool thing about this album, paid $10 for it, and it's got his autograph on the top. Just a stellar album. Big fan. That's off of Kicking Mule Records. A lot of cool record labels. The Russ Barenberg album was off of Rounder, a very early Rounder Records release. And then last, but certainly not least, Buffalo Springfield again. I got this album for the song Bluebird, which is by Stephen Stills. And I remember getting this CD first when I was in I wasn't in high school. I was in college. I got that CD. And I played Bluebird. I just wore it out. So then when I was digging through my dad's records, I found out, hey, my dad's got pretty good taste. How about that? So thanks, Dad, for that record. That's what I've been listening to this week. I'm curious what you're listening. I'm curious as to what you are listening to this week. Go ahead and let me know in the comments below. Let's move on to some fun acoustic news you can use. Molly Tuttle has a new album that's either out already or it's right on the cusp of being out. I would suggest that you pre-order it. But one of the songs that kind of has me in a very curious space is her song That's Gonna Leave a Mark. Because when I first heard the official release of that single, I thought, wow, this is vastly different from what I've heard from Molly Tuttle. I consider Molly Tuttle, I've kind of pigeonholed her into the bluegrass world. But she is very capable of pop music, and I have just this insane guilty pleasure when it comes to pop music. I'm not even embarrassed by it anymore. I just love it. I love pop music. It is just like, it's like white bread for my brain. Anyways, I say all this because when I first heard the song, I was like, that's really Molly Tuttle, and it kind of got me scratching my chin a little bit. The more I listened to it, the more I liked it. But check this out. She just did an acoustic recording of it. It's on video. We're going to take a quick listen to it right now. And I got to say, I mean, I love the acoustic version just a little bit more. Let's give it a listen.
And I don't want to wait another day, another minute wondering how you feel. If you're gonna keep your feelings undercover when I come around, I can't deal, I know, I'll regret it later, but you're so good in all the bad ways. Don't try to fix it when you break my heart.
But it gets even cooler. Then I found a video of her breaking down the song, That's Gonna Leave a Mark, and kind of the acoustic guitar parts that she used to formulate that full version of the song. She goes through kind of the main signature parts. I think there's 3. We're just gonna look at a small clip of it right now, but it's really cool to see Molly Tuttle behind the guitar showing the pieces that make this song what it is. Let's have a look.
So that's kind of the rhythm that you hear a lot in the song, and then midway through, after one of the choruses, I take a little guitar solo. So there's also kind of a fun little guitar moment in the outro. It's the guitar and the organ playing off each other. We're just kind of...
I've got one more acoustic news nugget for you before we get to Bernie's guitar story. Bernie's guitar story is one that you have to hear. I feel like I say this about all these stories, but if you're an older guitar player who's looking to do something you never thought was even possible for you, you've got to hear Bernie's story. I sat down to read it, and I was choking up through the whole thing. It took me multiple passes to get a good reading for you, but you got to hear it. Before we get there, though, one more acoustic news nugget. I've been trying out these new picks. You know, I love trying out guitar picks. I have my standbys, okay? I got my blue chip, love the blue chip. I've got my D'Addario Kaysen, the Chris Thile signature pick. Those are my 2 standbys. But I've been hearing this buzz about honey picks lately, so I thought I should do my due diligence and I should order some. So I did. I ordered one of everything they had, which was quite a lot. And they come in this nice little pouch, but I was in a rush, so I cut the drawstring. Anyways, so that pouch isn't as useful as it once was. Anyways, they've got all sorts of materials. They got Richlite, they got acrylic, they got synthetic opal, they got Ultem, they've got Torlon, they've got glow in the dark, they've got, this one's my favorite. I got to get the name right. Hold on. It's Kieranite, which is a hardened acrylic. This was actually my favorite out of all of these. When I first got these, I sat down with my guitar and I played each pick and I made piles. Ones that I didn't like, ones that I did like. The ones that I didn't like, they're not bad. They didn't sound, I didn't like the sound of them. So I just set them in the pile that I wasn't going to use. But it was about 50-50. I liked the Torlon. I liked the Richlite, or the Ultem. I liked the Richlite. I liked the Kieranite that I was telling you about. And I liked this Galalith. Galalith is what it's called? It's like a Kaysen material. Yeah, Galalith. Great picks. They come in a variety of shapes, a variety of thicknesses, and you can kind of customize each one to your liking. And I will say this, I want to make mention of this because this was a big revelation for me. They offer this engraving on the pick that is like a honeycomb texture. It's a wide honeycomb texture. There's 2 different textures they offer, but the wide honeycomb is so grippy. So if you're a player that has a hard time with getting a grip on your pick, or it kind of spins when you play, check out this wider honeycomb texture. It's maximum grip. I was actually floored with it. I used it at a gig and I was like, man, this is awesome. We were playing outside. It was hot. I was sweaty. I was gross. The pick never left my hands. It's pretty stellar. And again, that's the Kieranite. Kieranite. It's a hardened acrylic. Sounds awesome on an acoustic guitar, to my ears anyway. But they've got a ton. Prices range anywhere from $8 to $35. And I spent a good chunk of money on all these. But anyway, that's besides the point. I wanted to try them out so I could give an accurate assessment for you. But try those out. If you're a dork like me and you like trying out picks, Check those out. I love the Torlon. I love the Beekeeper's Stash. That's another one that they have. Good stuff from Honey Picks. If you want to check out their website, it's honey-picks.com. This is not sponsored. I ordered these on a whim, and I just wanted to share it with you. Now let's move on to Bernie's guitar story. Bernie is a 77-year-old guitar player, and he did something he never thought he would do. Like, he never thought he would do it. Let's go ahead and listen to Bernie F's guitar story. For most of my life, I was afraid to sing. Not in the shower, not in the car, not even alone with my guitar. The idea of singing in front of anyone, even a small group, was unthinkable. But Jay believed I could. Jay, my friend of 57 years, who had long ago turned our shared dream of finger-picking guitar into something real. His music was admired, and his encouragement always gentle but persistent. He told me singing would unlock a new level of connection to music, that it would deepen my guitar playing, that it would change me. He was right, but I didn't know that yet. What I did know was that our time together was coming to an end. Jay didn't have long, and just before he passed, he gave me a gift. A guitar, yes, but also a promise I would make to myself. To sing, for the first time, in his honor. In the early years of our friendship, we fantasized about becoming finger-picking guitar players. Jay made it happen. His playing was admired by everyone who heard him. I remained stuck in the someday. After I retired to Santa Fe, closer to him in Denver, we visited more often, played guitar together, and he started mentoring me. He helped me separate my thumb from my fingers, nudging me along that long-delayed finger-picking path. Jay also encouraged me to sing. He said learning to sing would help me understand music more deeply and improve my guitar playing, but I couldn't bring myself to do it, not even when I was alone. Jay had an enviable guitar collection, Martins, Collings, Taylors, and he always let me play them. I was like a kid in a candy store. There was one Taylor in particular, a 12-fretter, that felt like it was made for me. It had a smaller, thinner body that fit me just right. Warm, woody tone, but still clear and bright. I always assumed it was mahogany, but it turned out to be spruce and rosewood. Classic, comfortable, beautiful. On the last night of my final visit, we poured a final round of tequila. Jay, in his soft-spoken way, said, "Pick any guitar you want. It's yours." I chose the 12-fretter, but I couldn't bring myself to take it home, not while he was still alive to play it. After the memorial, Jay's wife insisted. "Take it," she said. "He wanted you to have it." And so I did. It was a parting gift, yes, but more than that, a thread tying me back to our shared dream. That summer, I went to a guitar camp. I thought it might be a step toward keeping my promise, but I kept my guitar in its case. I didn't sing. I barely spoke. What moved me most wasn't the instructors, it was the campers. The ones with trembling hands and shaky voices who still stepped up to the mic. I watched them with awe. Their fear was visible, but they did it anyway. And when they finished, the applause was thunderous. I sat there wondering if I'd missed my window, if 77 was too late to start being brave. But something stirred, and that night I made a promise. Next summer, I'll come back and sing. I'll play Bristlecone Pine, a song that perfectly captured Jay's spirit, and I'll use the guitar he gave me. I practiced. I stood up with a strap instead of sitting down. I used a mic. I taped the lyrics to the stand just in case, even though I had them memorized. I even joined a class called Finding Your Voice. I thought it was a lost cause, but I joined in on choruses at weekly jams. I was getting closer. Then plans changed. I couldn't return to camp. I was crushed. All that effort, all that preparation, for nothing? But fate had other plans. My singing class surprised us. On the final night, we had the chance to perform, and I jumped at it. No stage, no amp, no mic. Just me standing in front of 8 folding chairs. Jay's guitar hanging around my neck. My palms were sweating. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. I looked at the guitar and remembered him, his voice, his belief in me, that last night and that last pour of tequila. I closed my eyes, took a breath, and began to sing. My voice wavered, my fingers stumbled, but I kept going. I sang every word of Bristlecone Pine and played every note with everything I had. When I opened my eyes, they were filled with tears. So were theirs. I didn't need Madison Square Garden. That little room was enough. At 77, I did the thing I spent a lifetime avoiding. I sang, and something cracked open. It was more than just a tribute. It was a homecoming to a version of myself I thought I'd missed. That night, I didn't just honor Jay. I became the person he always believed I could be. Every Friday, we email out a guitar story just like this to remind you what really matters, so your playing stays rooted in meaning, not just practice. If you'd like to receive the Friday email or submit a guitar story of your own, go to guitarstories.com. Before I share with you the trivia answer for today, I want to talk about something with you that I don't feel any guitar teacher is talking about. I hear it in the fitness industry, I hear it in the writing world, I hear it in all these other areas, these other avenues of creativity, but I never hear about it in the guitar world. And it is the key to your fun, it's the key to your success, however you define it, it's the key to your progress on guitar. And it involves habit building, but it's not what you think it is. It's your identity as a guitar player. Your identity, claiming your identity as a guitar player, is a great indicator of how much fun, how much success, how much progress you will have with the guitar. And this all comes from James Clear. James Clear wrote this book, Atomic Habits. It's one of my favorite books of all time. When I was first developing Tony's Acoustic Challenge, I went bonkers in the habit creation science world. I read The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, Atomic Habits by James Clear, Tiny Habits by B.J. Fogg, amongst many, many, many other books around the subject of habit building. And it's key to build an identity-based habit because those are the habits that stick. Tony, what do you mean? Let me go ahead and read a little bit from James Clear's website because I think it'll flesh this out, and then we'll dig into it in terms of what it means in the guitar world. Here's what he has to say. The key to building lasting habits is focusing on creating a new identity first. Your current behaviors are simply a reflection of your current identity. What you do now is a mirror image of the type of person you believe that you are, either consciously or subconsciously. To change your behavior for good, you need to start believing new things about yourself. You need to build identity-based habits. Imagine how we typically set goals. We might start by saying, I want to lose weight or I want to get stronger. If you're lucky, someone might say, that's great, but you should be more specific. So then you say, I want to lose 20 pounds or I want to squat 300 pounds. These goals are centered around outcomes, not identity. He goes on to explain further, excuse me, but what I want to get is his recipe for, what I want to get to rather, is his recipe for success and then an example. Because I think it'll start to crystallize this in your mind. So changing your beliefs isn't nearly as hard as you might think. There are two simple steps. Number one, decide the type of person you want to be. Number two, prove it to yourself with small wins. And in his book, he describes this as casting votes for yourself. So let's go ahead and look at an example, and then we'll apply it to the guitar world. Want to become a better writer. Identity. Become the type of person who writes 1,000 words every day. Small win, write one paragraph each day this week. It seems simple, but it is so crucial. And that's why I think this gets just brushed over, because it's so simple. It's like, well, how can that even work? Become the person that you want to be. In this case, I'm talking about being a guitar player. Do the things that guitar players do. So your identity, I want to become the type of person that sits down and plays guitar for 10 minutes a day. I want to become the type of person that can sit down with their family and play some songs and have everyone be involved. What would the small win be? Sit down and play for 10 minutes. That's it. That's it. But why is this identity such a pivotal role? Because you're actually becoming the person you want to be. You're describing the person. You have this outline, this criteria of the person you want to be in your head. So you have to cast votes. You have to do things that type of person will do. If we look at guitar playing, it's little things like getting a new pick to try. It seems trivial. It seems like silly. But this type of stuff solidifies your identity as a guitar player. I wanted to say cements, but I said solidifies. Doesn't matter. Signing up or subscribing to a guitar magazine, subscribing to the Fretboard Journal. That's the type of stuff guitar players do. Listening to new music, listening to guitar-centered music. That's the stuff guitar players do. These are small little things that cast votes for the identity that you want to have, the identity of the person you want to become. So why am I bringing all of this up? I think when it comes to goal setting and trying to create a habit, it's this tough, sloggy, uphill climb, or at least that's how we envision it. It's really not. It's the little things we do day to day. Put your guitar on a stand so that you see it every day, right? Listen to new music. I've already mentioned all of these different examples, but It's these little things, these little tweaks in our day-to-day that can start to steer us in the direction of becoming the person we want to be, becoming the guitar player we want to be. So with that, I'll step off the proverbial soapbox. But I want you to think about that, especially if you're new to guitar, especially if you're just beginning guitar, especially if you're an older guitar player. Because I feel like there's this hidden hurdle as an older player, as really an older individual trying to start anything new, in that we get stuck in our ways. We feel like things are too hard. Things are too new. We don't have to go whole hog in a day. We just take these little steps. We start chipping away at the identity of the person we want to become. So I just wanted to put that in your mouth to chew on. Put that in your pipe to smoke a little bit. I don't know. Smoking's kind of frowned upon these days. Anyways, I just wanted you to think about that because it is something that I have found so powerful, and I found it really powerful in the running world. When I was first getting into running, I didn't know what I was doing. I was intimidated. I was surrounded. I mean, I'm in Bozeman, Montana. Everybody runs. They run like 10 miles a day. Who am I? I lift weights. I played hockey. I'm not a runner. I don't do running things, but I started to. I went and got socks. I went and got shoes, and I went and started looking at races. I didn't really commit to anything, but I did these little things that runners do. And lo and behold, here I am actually coming back to running again after an injury. So it's these little things that seem trivial. They make a huge, huge impact. In fact, you can create a really solid habit just by claiming your identity. That's the first little domino you can push that knocks down all the other dominoes. Okay, I'm done with that speech, but I do really think you should consider it. I don't want to trivialize it by saying I'm done with that speech. I think it's really important, something that you should just look at in your day-to-day. Here I am. I'm not letting go of it. Just look at in your day-to-day, right? The little things that you do, trying out a new pick, getting a new tuner, getting a new set of strings for your guitar, things that guitar players do that advance you towards that identity of a guitar player. And I'll just remind you, I hear this a lot. I have a guitar. I'm not a guitar player. No, don't say that. This just reminds me of another thing, and then I'm going to let it go, I promise. He did a study, or there was a study about smoking, people trying to quit smoking. And there was two camps. There was some folks saying, I'm trying to quit smoking. Valid, right? Valiant effort. They're trying to quit smoking. There was another group that claimed the identity of a non-smoker. They said, I don't smoke. Who do you think stuck with it? The folks that said, I don't smoke. And the reason I thought of this is because I hear this all the time. Oh, I have a guitar, but I'm not a guitar player. No. Strike that from your vocabulary. Because by virtue of actually playing the guitar, holding it, strumming it, playing a single string, you are a guitar player. Okay, so claim that identity. It actually has a huge impact on your habit formation, your guitar routine, and ultimately, like I said, your fun, success, and your progress with the guitar. Okay, now I'm officially done. Let's get to your trivia answer. And in case you forgot, your trivia question was this. In what year did the show MTV Unplugged premiere? Well, if you answered 1989, you are correct. Fun story behind this one. Let me go ahead and dig in a little bit. The taping of the show took place at the National Video Center in New York City on October 31st, 1989, and it aired on MTV on November 26th, 1989. But the show almost got off on the wrong foot. The show started rather quietly with an opening show lineup of Squeeze's Glenn Tilbrook and Chris Difford, playing on a show with Sid Straw and the Cars' Elliot Easton. Producer Alex Coletti recalled that the two Squeeze members showed up to the taping with two electric guitars. He said, "Very funny, guys. Where are the acoustics? It's unplugged." They looked at each other and went, "Right. Make a phone call. Quick." Kind of a funny thing. I thought MTV Unplugged maybe not single-handedly, but played a huge role in reviving the acoustic guitar. We're talking late 80s, electric guitar was all over the place, rock bands, and then here comes the acoustic guitar slipping in, MTV Unplugged, and then all of a sudden it got in front of a worldwide audience, and here we are today. And with that, I think it's a great time for me to wrap up the Acoustic Tuesday show for today. But I do need to remind you, if you're an older beginner, if you're an older guitar student, I really want you to check out Tony's Acoustic Challenge. There's a link in the description below. Every single week, I teach you the fundamentals of guitar through a nostalgic song that you know and love. And there's over 41,000 students already in there. Again, if you want to learn more, go ahead and click the link in the description below. Let's take a sneak peek into next week before I officially let you go for today. Next week, I'm going to show you the most haunting guitar tuning in existence. You're going to hear one of the most empowering guitar stories I have read thus far, after about 200 submissions, mind you. And I'm going to share with you an update on my Midwest experience with Charlie Parr and Matt Ike from Mule Resonator Guitars. It was a blast. I can't wait to give you the full rundown. Ultimate highlight of my musical life so far. What else do I have for you? And of course, I've got some acoustic news as well. Please do remember, you can catch Acoustic Tuesday every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. as long as the season is going on. And I, of course, will leave you with this. Your guitar success, however you define it, is directly related to your guitar routine. So please invest the time in developing your guitar routine and make sure to have fun every single day that you play. Remember, if you have fun, you'll see progress. If you see progress, you're going to want to play more, and the more you play, the more fun you're going to have, the more progress you're going to have. It's this wonderful cycle, and I want you to participate in it. With that, have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you spending your time with me, and I'll see you next Tuesday on the Acoustic Tuesday Show. Cheers to you.